Are we live? Are we on?
Mm.
Oh, okay. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Dante, and this is my partner Dewo. And welcome to the first official 2D podcast.
This is just the beginning of a hopefully long continuing series where we talk about a variety of topics and provide information to the general public and also give our own insights and opinions. To give just a bit of context, we are students in ninth grade and we want to do something that interests us and can entertain and educate a lot of people.
That being said, let's move on to our first ever topic, the COVID-19 pandemic.
The COVID 19 pandemic is a major worldwide event that is affecting every major country in the world. It is a disease that was caused by severe acute respiratory disease, also known as SARS-CoV-2. This disease was first discovered in Wuhan, China in December 2019. However, it was declared as a public health emergency by the WHO in January 2020. Then, as of March 2020, it was declared as a pandemic that has reached other neighboring countries. The symptoms of COVID-19 ranges from different examples like coughing, sneezing, fevers, and many more. It is known as an airborne disease when two people are in close contact with one another. It leaves an infected person as they breathe, cough, sneeze, or speak and enters another person via their mouth, nose, or eyes. It may also spread via contaminated surfaces. People remain infectious for up to 2 weeks and can spread the virus even if they do not show symptoms.
The preventative measures that we have to do to ensure the safety of everyone is by doing social distancing, pardon me, standing 6 feet away from each other in public, wearing face masks in public, wash your hands regularly, cover your mouth when sneezing or coughing, disinfect your things regularly, watch out for people who have been in contact with people who have COVID-19, and commit self-isolation whether the person is symptomatic or asymptomatic. Countries have shut down their borders and initiated travel restrictions to forbid people to leave and enter the country. Workplaces and malls have also taken extra precautions, like having a regular COVID test screening every day or every week before going to work, keeping the workplace 6 feet apart, and only limiting a certain amount of people allowed to go to the workplace every day.
Now, that's just the tip of the iceberg, but hopefully that's good enough insight as to how the current situation is. Now, to give our own segment with our own opinions and insights, we get in Instagram. We asked a lot of you guys to ask us questions regarding our own opinions or if there's any factual questions related to COVID-19. And the very first question up is towards Dante. How
And
has the
this,
pandemic
there,
been for you and your family?
and in my opinion, for me, this pandemic has been kind of tough for me and my family because of the fact that, like, this pandemic first started around March, right? It was during the
Mm.
middle of a school year, and we all like were just living a normal life. And for me personally, like, I was just in a rough patch during that time. And I wish I just want to like meet my friends and have a normal life. But with the COVID pandemic happening, it just made a whole different scenario because this is something that neither me, there, or anyone living in this world right now expected because this pandemic just hit us by surprise. Like when 2020 first arrived, like all of us expected 2020 to be a good year, it's the start to a new decade. Like I'm pretty sure you thought the same, though. And like
Yeah.
it's just like concerning and the fact that we came into 2020 and on the third month of the year, there's already a pandemic that is originated from China, which is infecting every major country in the world, especially here in Indonesia. Like, for example, for me and my family, like, normally, like, during the summer break or sometime during the end of this year, like in January or like in December, I mean, we would be going on holidays. Like, we'd be going, like, out, like, having a good time. But we never foresee having to stay at home for, like 9 months, nearly a whole year staying at home. We never seen that. Neither did other people, I might say. And so it's just very tough to have to adapt to a new reality that we would probably have to start using masks on a daily basis now, and we have to restrict as much like contact with as much people as we can. Like, for example, now, I mean, like me and Dewo, we're like bros, like we're really good friends, but like we
Yeah.
have a bros group chat, yes, but
Yeah, yeah.
like as much as we want to like meet each other and like want to hang out, we can't do that because of the COVID-19 pandemic because we do not want to put each other at risk. Okay? We do not know what might happen. We do not know how this virus attacks people or like it just shows up in people, and it's just very hard like to that considering how and it's hard to just stay at home and not have much to do, and that's my opinion. So, Dale, what's your take on that question? Like, how has the pandemic been
Okay.
for you and your family?
I mean, the pandemic itself is its own thing, but I think the whole year of 2020 has been pretty rough. Let's try to recap. As soon as New Year's came, there was a lot of floods in Jakarta, Indonesia, where we live. That took us by storm. And that was already like a little warning sign. And then just like a couple weeks after in January, an idol of mine, known as Kobe Bryant from the Los Angeles Lakers, passed away. Uh, Helicopter crash. Dante, sure.
It was
Let me see it.
Idol.
Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see that shirt. Let me see your
That's
shirt.
Kobe right here.
Yeah,
My
there you
number
go.
8 Kobe.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, right here,
that
people.
was
We're
that was a
both
little bit of
Big
a
Kobe
hard hit.
fans.
That was a little bit of a hard hit, and you know that left its mark. And then February came, where there was like, what's in February, like where the Australian wildfires came, or
Yeah, it was. I think if I'm not mistaken, it was something sometime around like February-ish. Yeah, it was something then. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then after that, there was around March was when we got like the first notice of COVID, and then I think we left at around April. So as soon as that started, we were all at home. HBL is something that we had to adapt to, right? The application we're using right now, Zoom, is new
We
to
will talk
us.
about HBL. Like
Yeah,
we will
we'll
talk
talk
about
about it in a bit. We'll
HBL
talk
like
about it in
as
a
it
bit.
goes on. Like we'll save that for later.
Yeah,
Continue though.
but there's HBL, and then honestly, I went through like metamorphosis. I became a new person. I became a whole new person, and yeah, for my family, personally, I know people in my family that have been affected by COVID, and yeah, so I'm pretty sure I can say I'm pretty related to this pandemic.
I would say
Yeah.
both me and Dewo. I would say both of us learned something from this pandemic. We learned new experiences. Like, pretty sure we both learned something new. Like, even though this pandemic is usually bad, of course, like considering how we have to stay at home and we don't get to meet our friends, like, it also gives us an opportunity to explore and like new things, and like discover new things. Like, I'm pretty sure, like you, Dewo, like you might have discovered something new. Like I know
Mm,
I for certain like I discovered something new. I discovered that
mm,
honestly, yeah, I'm just saying it to all you viewers right now. If you guys are even watching this, is that honestly, school is one of the most important things right now, especially in our age, because of the fact that we're still young. Like we have a long life ahead of us, and this pandemic shows that don't take life for granted. You have to make as much. You have to take up as much time as you can with your family, with your loved ones, and try to do the things that you love as best as you can, because you never know what might happen in the future. You might never know what will happen the next day or the day after. So you just
mm.
have to like make maximize every time as much time as you can with what you can do. That's what I'm trying to say from the pandemic. Do
Yeah,
you have anything to say,
yeah, I
though?
agree. No, yeah, I completely agree on that. And as bad as it is, I think for me personally, staying at home has made me realize a lot of things. It made me understand what I should be truly grateful for, and how important, other than school, how important family is. Because I've just been stuck with family. I haven't met friends at all, if not, yeah.
I agree
And
with you, though. Like, family
yeah,
is the most important thing in our lives
mm,
because, yeah, they're the ones who has always been with us, like ever since.
yeah. So I
Okay,
think that's pretty enough.
I think we pretty much covered up that question. Like, we gave our opinions on that question. So now let's move on to our second question. And this question that Iris that we put up on that we got from Instagram, this is a question that a lot of people has asked because it's actually a really good question, and I'm like curious to find out like what Deo's opinion on it is, and Deo's probably curious to find out what my opinion about the question is. And
mm,
this question is, what is your opinion on the upcoming vaccine that is about to be released to the population in Indonesia and around the world?
So do I go first?
Very good question. Yeah, you're gonna go first.
Okay. My opinion on the upcoming vaccine. Well, I think from a guy who doesn't do as much research about this because I leave most of it up to fate. I think just the thought of a possible like vaccine that can probably end this whole pandemic, that can probably cure a lot of people. Who knows? I think as soon as people heard of that, majority of people uh, naturally were very glad to hear news like that. And um, when thinking about vaccines, you think that, and then thinking about the year 2020 and the pandemic, you're like, finally, this can all come to an end. Hopefully, next year will be a good year, yada, yada, yada. But skepticism definitely rises in situations like this. And there's people that um, try to like go against this sense of happiness and instead try to bring up a sense of fear in people. There's a lot of people that think that this whole thing was staged. We'll get to that in a bit, but
Yes, we will.
yeah, there's people that there's people now that are like bringing like a sense of fear to other people who were like already glad to hear news about a vaccine. And I think that in a situation like this where the whole world affected and like a lot of things have happened because of said virus, mm, people should do the governments should do a lot of testing, make sure it's safe first before releasing to everyone. And especially in Indonesia, where it's just people who um, are like, there are a lot of risk takers, I'd say. There are a lot of, you know,
Yeah, there's
there
a lot of people like to take
quote
risks here.
unquote daredevils who will take whatever chance they can to live a better life and go back to normal. Um, I think that this these news are is very great and very big. Yeah. What about you?
I have no
Because
actually.
I
I
know
have a
you did
follow up.
research. I know you did
Yeah,
research.
and I did research, but I also have a follow up question to that, which is actually very relatable to the question. It has also been asked by a lot of people in the Instagram story that we put up. Is based on what you have said, will you take the vaccine or no? Yes or no?
I think the first people they should prioritize are the elderly, right?
Of course, yeah, I agree with that. But like,
Right.
if the opportunity does come up, will you take the vaccine or not? Yes or no?
Okay. Let's take it from a good, jolly, happy stance. Oh, a vaccine came. Most likely I will take it. Most likely my family will make me take it. And that's okay. But then again, remember, COVID-19 just came, what? April was January,
Nine
what?
month,
April
no,
was the
it came at
fourth
no, it
month,
was
right? So it's
declared.
eighth
No, but
month.
then it was declared a pandemic like around March, so it's like nine
March,
months.
so 9 months
Yeah,
ago. And they
9 months
rushed the
ago.
vaccine. And when we first heard news about a vaccine that might come, people are already saying like it's coming out 2021 or in 2 years, 2022. And the fact that it might come out, just like a month from now, from a skeptics point of view, they might just say it seems rushed. So will I take the vaccine if tests are good and people are safe, results are okay, they pass the stages, whatnot? Yes, I want to come back to a normal because, in my opinion, there should never have been a new normal. Yeah.
Very nice, though. So, do you want to hear my opinion about this now?
Yeah, let's hear you. What's your opinion on the vaccine and will you take it?
Okay,
Dante.
realistic. Okay, based on my research and my own opinion about this whole vaccine thing, like based on my research, there are three vaccines that are being released in Indonesia, which are in production, and those are the Sinovac vaccine, there are the Pfizer vaccine, and there's the Moderna vaccine. Based on all those three, I really don't know much to say because, like, I agree with what Dewo said. Like, it's been only 9 months to since the COVID-19 was declared a pandemic. And a lot of skeptics will say this is rushed. And I honestly kind of agree with that because like let's like dive back into history. When smallpox first came, how long did it take before for them to discover a vaccine? Years. It didn't take them 9 months to find a vaccine. It took them a really long time to find a vaccine. Same as polio. It took also them a really long time to cure polio. Oh, and COVID-19, it's on its way to becoming one of the most deadliest plague or like pandemic in history, even surpassing the Black Death. So like by them only rushing a vaccine that's only been in production for 9 months. Now that's kind of questionable because like people right now are questioning if a vaccine is really reliable or if it's like if it has bad side effects towards like the people when they take it, like will they like react differently, or like, but most importantly, will the vaccine actually work? Like the main reason why there are people that want to take this vaccine is because they want to be able to go back to normal life. Because at the start, like what Dewo said, there should never be a new normal. It should always be the same normal that we always have considered. There should have never been a new normal. We should always have been living in the exact same like situation we've always been. Not in a new normal where we always have to adapt to something new. Like not where we have to always wear masks, like have 6 feet distancing, like disinfect regularly and everything. Like it's hard to adapt to that. But then like that's why some people think that a vaccine is like a way for us to get away from that. But actually, based on what I know, or like based on what I think I know, I I just don't know. I really don't know because this vaccine is questionable. Yes, a lot of people are taking it, but it's still like raises a lot of questions like about whether or not it will work and if like this will work in the long term. Because this vaccine doesn't, I don't think, because based on what the research says, this vaccine doesn't necessarily guarantee that we will forever be like cured of COVID and we will forever be protected of it. No, this vaccine shows like these vaccines show that there's around a 90 to 95% chance of us getting COVID, of us being protected from COVID. So which leaves around a 10 to 5% chance that we might still get it in the near future. And even though that seems like a small margin, that's actually not, because this is your life. These are people's lives at stake. And you don't like, as even though if there are a tiny bit of odds that a person could still get it, it's still not safe. You can only consider the vaccine successful and if it's good, if it's 100% like protects you from COVID. And based on what all the vaccines are being created right now, none of them has 100% protection for COVID, which is why I 100% understand why a lot of people are skeptical to take the vaccines. Like, I mean, you understand, right, Dale? Like, I mean, like, there are people who are willing to take risks because, I mean, like, this pandemic's already like really bad. Like, what other bad thing could happen? Like, a lot of people are already dying. Like, sometimes in order to be saved or you want to get something, you have to sacrifice. Because in order to get something, it's never easy. And in order for you to find out if you're actually going to be like cured from COVID or not, it's for you to take the vaccine. And I'm not here trying to force you viewers to take the vaccine. No, I'm just saying, just do your research and just go with what you feel is right. Do you want to take the vaccine right away after the testing and just hope for the best and hopefully it works? I'm pretty sure it will work. Or are you going to wait like a bit more longer until like a new and better vaccine will come up? Because I'm pretty sure that these 3 vaccines, even though they're like 90 to 95% protective, I'm pretty sure that these are just a temporary vaccine and they will release like 100% protection like from COVID like vaccine in the next coming years. Because if they were to release like 100% like protective like vaccine from COVID, it's not going to be done in 9 months. It's going to take even longer than that. It's probably going to take, for all we know, years. And based on the situation that's happening now, we don't have years. The cases keep on going up and up and up. Like in Jakarta, right? Like up to 5,000 cases are always like coming up here in Indonesia. That's a lot in a day. 5,000 cases in a day is a lot. And we are now in Indonesia. It's already at around 700,000 cases, which is already a high critical point, especially in other countries like in like America, the UK. What about that? Like for us, it's already really, really bad. So, and then to answer your second question, though, you asked, will I take the vaccine? Yes or no? And honestly, I agree with your answer. Unless they do some more like research, like enhanced testing and deep testing towards all 3 vaccines, I will not take the vaccine until they have enhanced testing. But when they do have enhanced testing and they have proved that it actually works and that it will work for everyone, and that there's a chance for us to actually be protected from COVID for the next few years, and we can go back to how it was before. And I would 100% take the vaccine because in every like disease, vaccines are normally the cure for it. And right now, we are, of course, we and other people are, of course, praying that that the vaccines will work, because we cannot just like stand here at home having to worry about ourselves. We need to actually go back to how things were before, because for us itself, it's already hard enough for us to adjust to 9 months of having to stay at home, not being able to meet your family, not your families, meet your friends, go back to school. It's already hard enough as it is. And imagine if we have to adjust to a newer reality where we have to act like that for the next 3 to 4 years. It's gonna be really hard for a lot of people, especially. It's gonna be very, very hard. And honestly, that is my opinion on this question. So, do you have
The
anything to
f-
add on this question?
nah, I don't. I think I've covered what I wanted to say, and I'm pretty sure I can't add on to yours. So to further this, I want to ask you this question. Continuing about thought about vaccines, why are there so many anti-mask people, so many skeptics, and so many people that think this is a conspiracy?
There are actually people here who think that this is a man-made virus, and we here are like just gonna give our opinion on that.
Okay.
And so to answer the first question that they'll ask, which is why are there a lot of anti-mask people? And this is actually a question that was asked by a lot of people as well. Like actually, and this is a very good question. And my opinion on that question is that I don't really know why there's a lot of anti-mask people, because like I'm just saying in America, okay, in America, the Republicans, okay, a lot of people still
Mm.
think that COVID-19 is not real. It's just fake. It's just like it's not really a big thing. Well, it actually isn't, and that's why a lot of people just like don't wear masks. It's a highly debatable question, because yeah, because like if you want to protect the safety of yourself and others, you have to wear a mask. That's why the WHO and governments kept on telling everyone wear masks, protect yourself in public, because you never know who has the vaccine, who not the vaccine, sorry, who has the virus. You
Okay.
never know who has it. Like you can just like meet up someone, and then they say they don't have the virus, but turns out they end up having it. And then if you come in contact with that person and you end up having it, you go home, you infect everyone in your family. Now that's a problem, isn't it? Like I'm not trying to scare you people who's watching this, but these are straight facts. This is why like I don't really understand why there are a lot of anti-mask people, and I'm not here to judge on them or hit on them, because I mean this is a free world. People are entitled to an opinion. They have the right to do whatever they want. It's their choices. But like realistically, if you want the world to be done with COVID-19, and you want us to stop having to worry about ourselves and our families, and having to worry if one of us is going to get COVID or something, and having to stay at homes every single time, and have to adjust to this new reality, please wear your masks. Like I don't understand why people just don't want to wear their masks, because like if you see a lot of people wearing masks, that just means they're scared for their lives. And by you not wearing your mask, it just mean like it just kind of makes people think that you don't care about the vaccine.
Mm.
Like I mean, you can raise a question.
The
Yes, some people can't afford to like to get masks. Okay, I understand. I highly understand that. Of course, like you understand right now. Like some people, there are
yeah,
people
I
who can't
mean,
afford masks. Like you understand that. Like we can't hate on people like that.
at
But there
first,
are still a lot of people who are just against masks.
when
Continue,
we
Dale.
heard news, when we heard news about, like when we first heard news, right? When we first heard news about the virus, I think everyone, no, not everyone, but there was a lot of people that rushed to buy masks. Like just it was um it was out of shelves. It was out of shelves so quickly. Like stocks and masks, like a lot of surgical masks gone. A lot of like the really highly effective ones, like the N95 ones or just the surgical mask, gone from stores. That's just because people freaked out at the pandemic. And here's the deal. I think it's like honestly, the world is going through like the 5, 7 stages of grief with this thing. At first, it's like panic, denial, and stuff like that. Now, a lot of people have become more relaxed about it, but back to what I was saying about like panic. As soon as people heard about this, people panic. If you remember the internet, like around March, April, um, people were raiding, not raiding, but people were like buying everything out of stores to like buy food, to buy a lot of. They're like trying to stock up on everything they could because they thought it was gonna be like an apocalypse, like a zombie apocalypse, where they had to like stay out in their houses and like stay there for years. No, um, and then like a lot of things were taken out that other people needed. Like if the elderly needed this type of food, a lot of people stole toilet paper. I don't know honestly. Yeah, but as time progressed, right, people started becoming skeptical, and they're like, hold up. Number one, first things like they're like a lot of okay. I've seen people photo videos in like America, and they're like, we have the right not to wear masks. Sure, okay, just but I'm
Of
like
course, yeah,
thinking
of course.
having the right doesn't mean that you shouldn't, because remember the whole point of
You're
this is not.
endangering not only, yeah, because like the whole point of, like, I'm sorry to cut you though, but I'm pretty sure we both agree with what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But like but the whole point of the WHO and governments telling us to wear masks is not just to protect yourself. It's to protect the lives of everyone around you, like what I said before.
yeah,
Because like there are people, okay, like anti-mask protesters who their main cause, like main reason for them not being against masks is because they think that masks are useless. And what they mean by that is like, oh, they certain people are think that by you wearing a mask, it makes you like it stops you from breathing properly. And that is not true. Like speaking from personal experience, okay. I've been out a couple of times, okay, like when I have to like if it's like important matters, okay. I don't wear a mask. I'm just fine with them. I feel just fine. There's just no difference between you wearing a mask and just without a mask. There's really not that big difference. The only difference that you can that of course is that you realize about wearing masks and not wearing masks is that there's something that there's like of course that you're wearing it. That's it. Besides, you can still breathe normally, you can still talk normally, people can still hear you. So there's really not that big difference of you wearing a mask and not wearing a mask. The only difference that yes, you can see it, you can see a person wearing it, and it actually protects people from actually from contacting the COVID-19 like disease. Right? Like, do you have anything to add to that though?
wait, okay, and like I think other than the rights thing, the one where you're talking about like they're having trouble breathing, there's some people that do have problems breathing, and that's understandable. But in my opinion, if you have trouble breathing, right, and you can't wear a mask properly, rather not go out at all. If you do really have to, avoid any type of contact with anyone, because one, you yourself might be contaminated, infected, or two, anyone else you meet outside might be infected. Because there's such a thing as asymptomatic carriers where they don't have symptoms, but they still are infected with said virus. And if we're gonna go to the area of like conspiracy, whatever, man. All right, whatever. This may be a man-made virus, whatever. This is to start a zombie apocalypse. I don't know.
Yeah. So like a lot of people has been wondering this, and like even some people ask this for in our Instagram, like, do you think that this is a man-made virus? And honestly, we don't know. Okay, we're not God. We don't know everything. We don't know what we think about this. Like we honestly don't know what happens behind the scenes. Like for all we know, it could be a man-made virus. For all we know, it couldn't. But from like what we know, ask this question: why would the governments or like as what people said, China and US, why would they want to create a pandemic that will impact every single country in the world? How does that benefit them in any way? It doesn't benefit any country. It hurts their economy. It hurts their people. It hurts everyone. How would this, like, by them making a virus, to conspiring to make a virus, help them in any way? It doesn't. What? Okay, you can make in like people have also said that, oh, they made the virus so that later when the vaccine production starts to come, people start to buy it and they get money, get billions from that. But still, no, that's just a form of cruelty. Like that's just against human rights. And
Mm.
any person who are just sane enough would not do that. Like you would not go so far as to create a virus that would literally impact every major country in the world. which has infected nearly like around 70 million people in the world. No, like why would they want to do that? There is no benefit towards this. There isn't, and like shouldn't they? They should also like they would not even think of the possible long term consequences if they were to do it. Like, do you think they could have easily planned on what's going to happen next? I don't think so. Could they like decide how? Like, no way they can contain, or like could they decide how the virus goes or where it goes? They can't. Like they're not the, like, even though if they did create it, doesn't mean they can decide where it goes. It doesn't work like that. So imagine if they do it and it goes out of control. Like, they should have thought about that scenario. Imagine the virus goes out of control and a lot of people are getting like infected more than what they thought. Now that's a problem, isn't it? And I highly doubt that just the two biggest countries in the world, the two superpowers, US and China, would do something like this. It doesn't make sense, and this is why some conspiracy theories are like outrageous, especially this man-made virus thing. Because I honestly believe that this is not a man-made virus. Because why would anyone ask for their own people to be infected? No one wants that. Like, if like, no, it just doesn't work that way. Like, that's my opinion. Do you have any thoughts towards that question though?
Look, it's just there was accidents that happened, and then there was bad infections after the incident in which the virus was discovered in Wuhan, China, where, of course, what we believe and what majority of the world believes, there was an exotic animal market. People were eating were soon to be bats, and they contracted this virus. It originated from an animal. If you wanted to say man-made, man is the cause technically, because man ate said
I
and
mean, yeah,
contracted
yeah.
from
I mean, like,
animals, right?
yeah, like from Dewo's point of view, like what he's saying, yeah, like it kind of is man-made because I mean, they were eating the
Yeah,
animal, or like I would say like they were eating it, so technically, yeah. But here's the thing: we can't blame the people who ate it because they didn't know. Like, no one knew that you could get the virus by just eating it. They don't know
I
because
mean,
it's a
like,
culture. But
no, wait,
here's the thing, dude.
mm,
Go ahead.
no, you go.
But here's the thing: the culture of eating like bats and like things like that has been around in China for decades. So like, there's no way in knowing that they would have thought that this was bad. Of course, they couldn't know because like if they've been doing it for decades, they must have thought there's nothing wrong. So, and we can't blame them for that. And like, we can't judge them for, because how could they possibly know? Yes, it's an odd animal for you to be eating. Yes, but still, we don't know. Like, we don't know everything. As humans, we don't know everything. There are things that we still do not know. And just by then, like eating bat, and for the Chinese people eating bats, they didn't know that eating bats would eventually lead to them having the COVID-19 virus. That's what I
Yeah,
meant. They'll
and like,
continue.
no prejudice against any community in any
Yeah,
society.
of
It's just
course.
that
Yeah, of course.
um I think that anti-mask people, right? They wish to go against the virus because, again, like I said before, one, they believe in the conspiracy, or two, they're trying to make a point in a really irrational way, as if they're trying to make a point saying like, oh, the government wants to control me. Oh, the world's governments are teaming up to take over the world. No, this is not the umbrella corporation. This is just people making mistakes, and some really bad consequences came out of it. And I think because of that, what should be highlighted now is just that, rather than thinking of conspiracies and why people are trying to take over the world, so I think people should work together more rather than creating extra fear. Try to reduce it, try to mitigate it. Instead, follow safety protocols, listen to what directions we're given. Because it's not like they're trying to oppress us. I mean, that's what people say. Like, like, oh, they're trying to oppress me. You can't hold me down. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Is that I think I remember one time I read, if we all stayed at home and did what we were told, this would have been over a lot faster than what? It's been 9 months now. So yeah.
And I agree. I agree with your point. I strongly agree with your point that yes, by like if people people just follow the healthcare procedures that the governments have been like telling us to do, like staying at home, wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart, wash your hands regularly, disinfect regularly. This not vaccine, sorry, this virus or this pandemic would have been done a lot faster, because like this relates to another question that I'm about to ask right now. Which is the next question I'm about to ask is that's been asked a lot. What is your opinion on people often breaking out of safety protocols to carry on their everyday life during their pandemic? Like for example, like meeting their friends, going on like big events, going to malls and things like that. What is your opinion? Because
Okay.
this is like a question that's been asked a lot, and it's very
Okay.
good.
An opinion taken from a teenage boy living in a super densely populated country in general, full of people,
Yes.
a packed city. I think that, honestly, personally, I'm annoyed whenever people break the safety protocols. And a lot of the questions that I receive from Instagram is, why are people not wearing their masks properly? And I lay it down to two things. Three things really. Or just mostly two, yeah. One is laziness, obviously. Or two, they don't fully understand and cannot fully grasp the concept of how dangerous it is to not wear it properly. That's why I think people don't wear it properly, because one, they don't know. Wait. It ultimately leads up to, again, two things. One, laziness. Right? Or two, they do not fully understand and cannot fully grasp the concept of how dangerous it is to wear your mask improperly. Because I think that this has been televised nationally, but then again, not. This has been like televised with like the WHO, CDC, whatnot, other international companies. Yeah. Thing is, I don't think that everyone in the world will be able to fully understand what they're trying to say until they get a first-hand experience. What do you think?
I strongly agree with with your last sentence. People can't fully understand how serious this is until they understand what it feels like again. But I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, but it's 100% true. Because like what Dewo said relates to the question I asked. Why do people like to break the safety protocols right now just to go out to do their everyday lives? Yes, you can make the point like yes, some people still do need to work, and I understand that. 100% people need to work. Yes, this is a tough economy. Yes, people do still need to work. That's justifiable. Just but then there are other reasons, like wanting to go out to meet your friends in their houses in a malls or something. Like, okay, I'm not trying to shade anyone who's watching. If any of our friends are watching this, I'm not trying to shade them, but I have to use this example because it's very, very true as to what I'm trying to say here. Like, we have friends, okay? Like me and Doe, we both have friends who like to go out, who they've often like shown that they like to go out and meet with their friends, and like what either in a mall, in their house, in their houses, or somewhere. And by what I think, from what see in there, is just that like, what are you thinking? Like, what are you think? It's not safe. I don't care. Like, here's the thing. Some people think that just because they took for example, the swab test already, right? And then like they think it's fine to take off their mask, to just go out and meet their friends to take off their mask. Now that's not true. That is 100% not true. Because here's the thing. Even though you go out with your friends, right? And then you all swab test and you all like the result is negative, there is still a chance that either one of you could still get the vaccine, could still get the virus. And which is why, like, even though like just because yes, the swab test what it provides, it just gives you an answer. Oh, I'm safe from vaccine. But like what the doctors have said, like what the WHO has said about the swab test, yes, it's the most accurate. And if you get negative, the negative. But here's the thing: I quote on what they said. If you get tested and it says negative, that should not be an excuse or a reason for you to still be able to break safety protocols, to go out and meet people and not wear your masks. It is not a justifiable reason. Just because you got COVID tested doesn't mean, and it got negative, doesn't mean you can still go out and meet your friends. Like, which is why, like, when I see those friends, like when I see those people go out and like I'm like, are you guys not scared? Like, are you genuinely not scared? Or like, do you just not take this seriously? Because like there are people right now who are literally dying or fighting. Forgive me for lagging out people. I'm pretty sure they'll cut it, but I lagged out. So this is just the continuation in the edit. Okay, so continuing what I'm saying. Are you not, for those people who are keep going out and meeting your friends, like for example our friends, are you not scared for your life? Like, are you not scared of getting the virus? Are you genuinely not scared? Because there is
Hmm.
still a high chance that you can get this. Just because you got the test and it says negative, it doesn't clear you of anything. Yes, it gives you the satisfaction that you're fine, but it still doesn't clear you to go out and like, take off your mask. It doesn't do that. It doesn't justify that, and like it really just doesn't. And I still don't understand why people are like going out. Like, okay, I get like people has a social life, yeah, but you not like just like maintain that? Like, can you not just like keep that away for just a few more months until things get better? Like, I'm not trying to judge on anyone here, but like we have friends, okay, like what I said before, who does these things, and I'm not trying to hit on them, but they're a prime example as to the point I'm trying to make. Like, if you want if you want the situation to be a whole lot better, if you want us to go back to as we were before, then stop going out. Follow the protocols that the government are giving. Unless you absolutely have to go out of your house, then don't go out of your house. Unless it is an emergency to meet your family or like for health like emergency, do not go out. There is no point for you to go out, like unless it's for some serious emergency. There really is no point. Like, if you've constantly said that you want this thing to be done, then stay at home. There's no point in you going out. And if you say, "Oh, I want to meet my friends," you could call them. Just because you haven't met them doesn't mean you're going to be disconnected from them. It doesn't mean that. And this is what I apologies again for my bad Wi-Fi. I disconnected again. I'm pretty sure Dewo edited it, but I did disconnect. You can tell. And so to continue what I was saying, like, do not like just stay at home. And if you want this thing to be done, just stay at home, because the more you stay at home, the less people go out. The situation dies down. The virus is gone. Boom, there the vaccine comes out. The situation's down. Boom, there. Easy as that. It's really, if you can stay at home, if you're able to quarantine yourself or stay at home for 6 months, it's not gonna be that hard to just stay at home for the next like 5 months, isn't it? It's not. As bored as we are, from personal experience, I am so bored staying at home, yet I force myself to stay at home because you know why? Because I do not want to get I do not want to get the virus. I don't want to like get my family the virus. I have to be cautious to everyone around me. I'm like, this is why I don't understand. Why are people still hanging out? Like, I'm not like trying to hate on those people, but like, if you want the virus to be done, just please, at least just stay at home and wait for the situation to die down. Because not hanging out with your friends is the least of everyone's priorities right now. Because staying alive and like making sure everyone around you is healthy has to be or is everyone's top priority as of right now during this pandemic. And that is my opinion. Sorry for acting mad, but I'm just voicing my concerns towards this topic or towards this question. Very a controversial question that I feel like it should be answered, and I feel like this is my opinion. So, do you have anything to say?
Personally, I have. Okay. I am guilty of one time going out to meet friends, right? And that's just because at some point I couldn't take it, and that's on me, right? That's my issue. That's my fault. And then again, after reflecting a bit, um, what happened for me at that point when I went out, it went smoothly. I didn't meet a lot of people, which is should be okay. But then again, this is a time in which we shouldn't really take chances. I know I might sound like a hypocrite, but then again, it's not just me, it's a lot of people out there. And I
Yes.
think that people are really ignoring the fact that we shouldn't go out unless it's really, 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 really necessary. And that means to get things we need to do important events, whether it be work or if there's something important happening with family. And another thing that I think that should be talked about, because you've already talked about like going out and everything, I should really talk
Yes.
about safety protocols regarding wearing your mask, because I am very, very annoyed. I have pet peeves against people not wearing their mask properly. Let me describe.
I agree with them. Go ahead.
People, okay, here's how people should wear a mask. Okay, I'm not gonna grab a mask to use it because I have one of those one time, yeah, whatever. Point is, mask should cover this. Oh, whoa. Mask should cover your nose, your mouth, and it should cover this area, really, right? It should be either of surgical grade, that means like surgical mask, N95 mask, those, or at least 3 layers of cloth. Now, before I get into materials, I should talk about how people wear it. Number one, the most common things I see are these. Number one, wearing the mask, but not covering the nose. Remember, the whole point of wearing a mask is to cover everything that can release and intake air. Remember, you can also contract through the eyes. So just I'll get to the eyes and touching part later, but let me talk about mask. One is wearing it below the nose. Two, and this one annoys me so much. When you need to speak, when you need to eat, importantly when you need your nose or your mouth for something, when people take their mask and bring it down, don't don't do that, because when you bring it down, pretend it's your chin. Okay, if your chin is exposed, don't bring it down at all. All right. If your chin is not exposed, okay, I'll cut you some slack. But remember, most people bring it down all the way to here, the neck level. Here, the neck level is exposed. So if someone were to cough, remember, a mask does not fully guarantee that it doesn't release any viruses or anything. Because remember, if it had to block viruses, you wouldn't be able to breathe at all in that mask. That would be suffocation. If the neck was exposed and you bring it down here, CDC says that it will collect whatever germs, bacteria, infectious diseases maybe are here. And when you bring it back up, that's it. It's exposed all to your mouth. And that annoys me so much because I have a family member. I'm not going to say what type of family member they are. They do that a lot. And I'm just speculating. A lot of their friends do it too. And sorry to say, that family member, again, not specifying who, got COVID-19. And when I heard about this, rather than being worried about my family member, I got mad at him. That's just because they didn't follow safety protocols. Me, my father, my parents, both my parents, instead of being fearful, this family member is younger than other family members. So maybe they should be safe. They just didn't follow safety protocols. And I saw it firsthand. And another thing I want to pull out is when you wear your mask, when you want to take it off to speak or do anything, take it off completely. Hold it by the ends, okay? Don't hold the middle of the mask and like yank it out. Don't pull it down. Don't hang it off and hang it off one ear. I have another family member that does that. It annoys me so much. I know I'm nitpicking, but remember, your life is at stake. And also other lives are at stake, whether it be other family members or other people outside of your family, friends, colleagues, whatnot. And I think that another safety protocol that people forget are your hands. People don't wash their hands that often, and people think that you can just spray some like
Exactly.
hand sanitizer. Oh, you're immortal. You're invincible, right? Virus, goodbye. No, that's not how it works. And that is not how it works. No,
like you just have to take the proper precautions. Like, no matter, because you just can't skip a step. You can't just because, for example, you just can't wear a mask but not wash your hands. It doesn't work that. Or you can wash your hands but not wear a mask. You can't do that. Or you can wear a mask and wash your hands but not disinfect your things and not like stay 6 feet apart. Now that's a problem because you have to also because COVID doesn't only infect you; it affects everyone around you. It easily transmits to everyone easily. So that's why the 6 feet apart rule was applied. And this is another pet peeve of mine, is when people don't follow those simple rules, the simplest rules, like washing your hands when you that's so easy. You could just easily like right now in malls, you go to malls, you go to anyway, they have those hand sanitizers right there are attached to the wall. Just do that. It's easy, it's free, it doesn't take much effort. Just hit it boom, wash it correctly, or go to the bathroom and wash your hands. It's really not that hard. It's very easy to do, and I honestly don't understand why some people don't follow these precautions. It's for your good. It's for your own good. Like if you don't want, that's why do you think the government made these precautions? It's for your safety. Like they wouldn't make these precautions if they know that it wasn't like safe. And of course they wouldn't do that. Like that's why like me and Dewo like we're like, then again like me and Dewo here are not trying to attack the people like before I mentioned like an examples of people even though I didn't say their names. Like if they watch this they know who they are. But I'm not trying to attack them. But I mean like based on what we've seen, like come on, like set like a better example at least, or like show like that if you say if you said that you care about that you want this to be done, then act like you want it to be done and not go out and meet your friends or do some or be in a social like event. Like don't do that. Just like act as best you can and like stay at home as much as you can, and just hope for the best and stay as healthy as you can. That's what I'm just trying to tell here. And
Can you
you have anything
confirm
else to add,
something
Dale?
for me? Can you confirm something
Go
for
ahead.
me? How effective is a face shield without wearing a mask underneath?
Now that I honestly don't know because from like my experience, yeah, what my family always does is if they were to wear a face shield, they wear a face shield, then they wear a mask like behind the face
Same.
shield for extra protection. Because I'm not 100% sure that the face shield protects like 100% protection. I don't think it does, or like it doesn't like contain it. I don't think it does because like I'm pretty sure that's why like if you go to like I don't know, like if you go see like people like if they were to wear this face shield, they would also wear a mask like, mostly because like for the extra protection, because I'm pretty sure a face shield doesn't like 100% like protect you from it or like protect people from getting the virus. I don't think it is just an
From
added
my
like an added thing besides the protection. Like you get the mask, then you can get the face shield. I think that's why they created it.
For me, my logic is from the videos I've seen while exploring the internet is that when you cough sneeze, it doesn't just go straight. It can go straight down, up, left,
Up
right,
or it can go.
whatever.
It can like and it can go. But yeah, exactly. That's
There's a whole
that's
area
that's
of
my
effect.
point.
And the whole point of me bringing this up is that I have seen people wear face shields only. And guess where I saw that? Right
Malls.
on TV. No,
Mm.
on TV. On TV, broadcasted to people. I'm not gonna mention which artist or anything, but just notice that on TV they only wear face shields. Now, remember, it might just be for the fact that you might not be heard well enough under a mask, whatever. But remember, you're playing with your lives. That's at stake. It's
Yeah,
not
your
exactly
lives
just
are at
something that you
stake.
can
You
just
have to know
play
the
with.
risks. Like if you were, for example, like I'm just backing up to everything I said. Like if you want to hang out or you want to act like and you want to wear a mask, at least at the very least understand the risks of what you are doing. Understand what you're getting yourself into. Because by
Yeah.
you doing this thing, you can potentially have a high chance of you getting it, and potentially if you get it, spread it to other people that you're close to. Those are the risks that you have to be aware of. Like if you like were able to do these things but you're not aware of the risks, then what is your point in trying to do this? Like there's really not a point of you wanting to do it. You just don't care. And if you don't care, that's a bad thing, because do you really not care? Like okay, it may seem like you don't care about yourself, but at least care about the people around you, because if you have it, other people, there's a high chance of people around you might have it. And of course you don't want to have that. And then again, I'm not trying to attack you, but I'm just saying my frustrations about this certain question, because there are a lot of people who acts like this, and people that we also know acts like this, and which is like very like concerning and very frustrating to like see, considering how bad the situation is right now.
Mm.
Have anything to say
And
though?
I just want to bring up one last thing about safety protocols, and before we move on to the very last question, before we
Okay, go ahead.
close this podcast, safety protocols, right? We talked about people going places. We talked about how it's only for their necessities. We talk about how you should keep your distance, and how it's okay to go if it's one, you need to get something absolutely necessary for your survival, for your daily life, or two, something important happens related to work, family, whatnot. What about going to places for vacation for the holidays? That's a question that we didn't put in our little file, but I
Yeah,
have
I
it.
back up
Um,
your like that question.
yeah, your opinions
A
on people
very
going on
question.
holidays during the pandemic. In my opinion, I think that what matters just as much as the individual people as no, what matters just as much as companies, right? We have to make sure companies, the major companies that are like handle transportation, like planes. If you're gonna go on a plane or you're gonna go on a flight, make sure
Yeah.
they follow their protocols. Make sure they disinfect. I think it's also important for other people to follow protocols. Now, I haven't been on a plane in a while. Like since the whole pandemic, I
Same
haven't
here,
been
of
on a
course.
plane.
Yeah. I haven't been in
I
a plane
just
in a
hope.
year.
I just hope that you know they have their protocols. I just don't want to see people in economy class sitting next to each other in a 3-seat aisle.
No. Like like no. It's not like that anymore. It's completely
Okay.
different. The whole
Okay.
protocol is
Cool.
different. Like right now, the seating now in planes like 1-1-1. It's so different now. There's
All right.
like
Cool.
a big gap. So it's like it's safer. Like they've taken big protocols, but still going to places like, for example, a place that a lot of people have been going to, like friends that we know of that has been going through like in holidays during this pandemic.
Remember, we're not
Bali.
attacking anyone with this, all right? We're
And we're
not
not attacking
attacking anyone. We
anyone.
just want to
We're not
bring
attacking
this
anyone. Yeah, we're just bringing this up. Okay,
up,
the place
right?
that's a lot of people has been going to during this holiday, Bali. A lot
Okay.
of people have been going to Bali, and Bali is the main tourist destination in Indonesia. Doesn't that raise red flags? They will
But
continue.
then again, what I've heard from my family members that have went to Bali for me, it's been a lot more quiet. But if we're talking about
Yeah, of
our opinions, my opinions, don't unless again
course.
work related, family related. Just don't
Yeah.
because I I don't know who's watching, but if you're watching, I just hope nothing bad happens to you related to the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm pretty sure Dante wishes the same thing for nothing bad, all good to happen to you.
Of course, yeah.
Blessings,
We're
good
here
vibes
just like
only.
help all of you guys, of course.
Yeah. So,
Like,
I mean, if you're gonna go for any reason, just really make sure to like follow protocols and make sure you're safe. That's what you should worry about the most. Make sure your family's safe. Make sure you don't hurt other people as well. In any case, if you're, God forbid, asymptomatic carrier, hopefully you don't affect other people outside of your family within your family. Right.
also, another thing about like, by you going to vacation during this pandemic is that you should act the same as you are at home, or like when you're just
Mm.
going out like in Jakarta. You should be acting exactly the same, wearing masks, like 6 feet distancing, wash your hands regularly, like disinfect your things. You have to do the same things, even though like for example in Bali, you know how Bali is, right? You go to
Mm.
beaches, you go to pools, you go like you swim, like it's like a paradise basically. But then still, you still have to like follow the same protocols as you do back at home, because there's no like exception. Just because you're in a vacation does not mean you do not have to follow these protocols. Then again, I'm not attacking anyone. I'm just saying that this is like a thing that everyone has to do, especially in their vacation. But like what Dewo said, if like during this pandemic, you really should not go to a vacation. It's really not a perfect time right now, but especially since you're going on planes. Yes, like they have this whole new protocols about planes, but it's still very dangerous. There's a high chance of you getting it somewhere, like especially like somewhere where you don't know how the situation is. Like if you're at Jakarta or if you're at your home, you know exactly how the situation is like. But if you go somewhere where you're not living at, it's hard to know what's happening, and which is why like for those people right now, if they're watching and they're on vacation, stay safe. Follow the same protocols as you do back home, and just like stay safe and like just follow the protocol, stay healthy, and like just stay just do as best as you can, just to stay and like to just have fun, but the same way like still be safe while having fun, but
Mm.
like that's why like there's a reason why governments close the borders, international borders in their countries, because they do not want people to enter in and out of the country, because they do not want people who has COVID to enter the country, or they do not want people who has COVID to enter outside the country, because it's gonna be a problem. That's exactly why this whole like like vacation thing should like people should not go on vacations right now. Like just stay at home. I know it's not an ideal situation. Like I'm pretty sure like both of us here, a lot of people had like big events they planned for the end of this year or like in summer times. Like right though, like I'm pretty sure I was planning to go out also the end of this year, of course, with my family, but I had to cancel due to COVID. But I mean it's a sacrifice that I have to make, because I do not want to get COVID. I don't know. I'm for sure my family is one of COVID. And like by us going out, there's a high chance that one of us could get it. And this is why, like, especially on a plane, even though it's disinfected, it's like it's far, the protocols are safer, there's still a chance. And we have to take every precaution we can have, or like any like warning. Just stay away from like riding planes right now, and to stay away from like going on vacations in general. Like, I mean, we're not trying to forbid you here on how to lead your life. No, it's your life, of course, it's your choice. We're just here just trying to advise you on like what's best, on what we think it's best, on our opinion. So just don't attack us or anything. Okay, we're just like saying our opinions. So do you have anything else to add though?
I have pretty much nothing else to say. I hope everyone knows the guidelines, basic guidelines. Wear your mask properly. Stay 6 feet apart. Anyone you don't know, hopefully anyone you think might be infected. If within your family, I hope it's a good sense of trust, and then there's a good sense of responsibility, so that at least within your family, you can just be open with it. You understand that it's a safe part of your daily life. And we've already talked about the general population. We've talked about conspiracies. We've talked about anti-mask,
Vaccine.
mask
Yeah, we've
policies.
heard that.
Now, this last part for the very last question. This is dedicated to teenagers, kids
Students.
alike, students, parents with children that are already in school. How should schools handle education during the pandemic?
You want me to go first? You want me to give a
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So my opinion on this is that the way our school is handling it in Jakarta, or like every other school, like top school or major like schools in Indonesia are doing right now. Other schools, other countries are doing is this is what they're doing. They're initiating something called HBL. That's what it's called in our school. It basically stands for home-based learning. And what you do on that is basically we still continue our regular activities as we do in normal school and physical school, except the fact that we're doing it through a digital platform. And the digital platform that we're using for the is we're using Zoom. Like, I admit, okay, when we first had to do HBL, I was kind of skeptical about it because I don't know how it's gonna work. Like, we're gonna be using a whole new platform that we are so unknown to, Zoom. I'm pretty sure, like, I was unknown to it, Dewo. I'm pretty sure you were unknown to it, man. Like, a lot of people were unknown towards Zoom, and they don't know how to use it. They don't know how they'll think about online school. So that when it first started, we had a lot of reservations. I'm pretty sure the teachers also had reservations as to how they're going to do their learning. Like, because like there are a lot of things that the teacher wants to do comprehend better with their students, right? But they don't necessarily know how to do that. Like some of those things through an online platform. Like for example, in our tasks, like we had tasks in our school, okay, basically where we had to originally in physical school where we would be performing in front of everyone live, where everyone can see costumes, or we're gonna be giving speeches, or like we're gonna be on debates. Like there are like activities like that. Like in an online platform, it's difficult because imagine like if you want to like go on a live performance of like you like showing a play or something, you can't do it live because like a lot of the biggest problem about online learning on HBL is Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi connections are unpredictable at one given moment, any given moment, at one class, you could suddenly just lag out. Your Wi-Fi could be just terrible and you can't listen to anything, and soon you disconnect and you can't rejoin the class. I myself am a true example, like a true like victim of that. My Wi-Fi is like occasionally sometimes been really bad in classes to the point where I really can't understand like I really can't understand like what's happening. Like, yes, Joe's laughing, but like it's really that bad. Like I'm sure a lot of people also like share the
Yeah, bad
same thought
Wi-Fi.
as me, which is why it's hard.
Trash.
So there's a new reality in HBL because like in HBL we have to like just like through the screen instead of like sitting next to each other physical school and like seeing the teacher face to face. But no, we have to literally be like calling like through here. It's a very hard adjustment considering how we spent like years meeting each other physically, but now we're actually just having a whole school year through an online platform that we are entirely unknown of. And it's very weird because like I mean like there are a lot of people right now, like after like months right now, right? We've had like a like half term of last year's grade of HBL and a half term and one semester so far of our grade right now of HBL. And so far, it's been okay. I would say, like, I of course like physical school more because I get to meet my friends, I get to interact better with my teachers, and they can understand me way better instead of me like just lagging out. Like for example, in a debate, like I could just be giving my points, but I lagged out and no one heard my points, and that's terrible. And that's a true experience right there. Because a few weeks ago, I was in a debate, I was talking, but I disconnected, and people barely heard what I said. And that's like one of the major problems of HBL. And honestly, if you were to ask me, like, do I would I prefer HBL or physical school? Okay, sorry. Well, sorry for that, guys. I lagged again. So basically, continuing, like not hate on teachers, but it gives us like a more relaxation period when we do an HBL because like we get to do things digitally instead of
Why
on
are you talking so
paper,
fast?
like in physical school. Like in physical school, like we have to write things on
Uh,
the papers a lot, But in HBS, mostly just digital. Like we write our things on docs, we submit it through Managback or like those platforms.
yeah.
It's way easier. Like I mean, Noah agrees with that, considering how he's been doing in school. He would rather prefer this. So like,
Look.
Noah, I have a follow up question to you.
Mm,
Answer the first question. Would you rather? How do you like HBL so far? And like, would you
okay.
rather prefer HBL or online or like physical school? What's your okay?
Education wise, I can't say it's
Education
good, not
wise and
good.
personal wise, like you
Yeah.
personally and how it is for you in terms of education.
When I talk about education, I cannot say whether it's good or bad because I think education mostly is just providing knowledge. That's one thing. Second, it's their way of teaching. Knowledge wise, I mean, I'm still getting the same information that I usually get, right? I'm still learning new things in class. I'm still understanding different things about uh like I'm still understanding new concepts and whatnot. Personally, when you compare HBO and physical school, Dante's gone. Um, I welcome back. I genuinely think that, of course, I would choose physical school because Dante has already said it. We get to meet our friends, we get to meet teachers. There's human interaction. You get to fully see a person like they're fully in person. You get to see their full frame. You can look at them. Oh, it's an actual person. You don't look at a screen and think, hopefully that's not some not some animatronic, not some animation I'm looking at. No, it'd be nice to see a full person. But remember, the question is, how should schools handle education during the pandemic? What they should prioritize second to providing knowledge is safety of students, teachers, and alike. And I know, if you're watching this, there's probably, I mean, based from friends, whatnot, and based from me, like my personal, like my personal feelings towards HBL, it's not the best experience. It's not as engaging as meeting people in person, but in a pandemic like this, where sure, if you look up statistics now, about like almost half, if not more or less half the people who have contracted COVID-19 recover from it. It doesn't mean that there's. It doesn't mean that you're definitely gonna be. You're definitely gonna recover from it, right? So rather than taking chances like this, I'd rather take chances in finding a way to solve a problem than work your way around it, because that doesn't annihilate the problem in the first place. It just You just find another way to handle it. And then again, it's not a guaranteed safety. So I think that HBL may not be the best solution. No, may not be the best solution in terms of our own feelings, but if you want to live, if you want to keep other people and yourself safe, sorry, this is how we have to handle things. Do you want to say anything else?
Honestly, I think we pretty much covered up the education part because like I said everything I have to say. I'm pretty sure
Yeah, I've said
that's the
mine
same
part
thing to
too.
say. And like
I think we should.
probably should we? I think we should close the podcast because I'm pretty
I
sure we
think
covered up
before I
everything.
close anything, I just wanted to say that First, towards students, it's not going to be like this forever. Hopefully, it's not going to be like this forever. We're going to get back to some point. That's why I think we should all work together, try your best in school, no matter how your school is handling it. I know there are schools out there that are already getting back in person with like other safety protocols. Try your best to follow the rules, stay safe. For other people outside, we're given safety protocols. We're given guidelines on how we should live in our new normal. I think everyone should follow that too. Um, Parents, keep your children safe. Children, keep your parents safe. Everyone, keep your family safe. Everyone, keep others safe. And that's everything. Well, everyone, we hope you had a good time listening to us. Maybe you learned a thing or two. Maybe we helped confirm your suspicions about anything, or maybe you even found something wrong with us. For that matter, don't judge.
And on the most important note, I know I've said this before, but please, people, please wear your masks when you go out and you meet your people and meet friends or anything. Please wear your masks. Anyway, once again, it's Dante and Dewo, and thank you for joining us on the 2D podcast. Have a great day and stay safe. Goodbye. Say goodbye,
And
Dewo.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy
Bye-bye.
New Year. Bye bye.